Hi everyone, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome to my very own Telerik Dev series videos. And this is the very first time that I'm making such a recording, so I would appreciate that if you feel that there's anything that I should work on, improve on, or content that you would like to see in my upcoming video series, please do write in to my email address at the end of this video slides, and I'll be more than happy to hear from you. So today I'm going to talk about Telerik Kendo UI. I'm just going to give a really simple overview of why Telerik Kendo UI is really good and how I find Kendo UI really beneficial to me as a web developer, and how Kendo UI really outshines a lot of other HTML5 frameworks that are already on the market. So just a very quick introduction about myself. I'm currently a consultant and developer that specializes in cross-platform mobile solutions, as well as helping organizations and startup companies create Telerik-driven solutions. I have 15 years of knowledge, including 10 years of working experience in both .NET and Java. And I also have 10 years of working experience with most of Telerik's tools, including what you see in DevCraft right now, and also including the rest of the Just suite, which includes Just Code, Just Trace, the whole works. And I've also been familiarized with Telerik platform. And recently, I've also had the honor of being inducted to the Telerik Developer Expert Program, and also being the only one in Singapore and Southeast Asia. On top of that, earlier this year, I've also been featured by Endcover, and that really is one of the reasons why I decided to start recording my videos, really sharing the things that I've learned over the years. So today I'm going to cover some of these topics, like what is Kendo UI, why Kendo UI. I'm going to talk about how easy it is to get started with a really simple button demo. I'm also going to share some of my final thoughts with you. So what is Kendo UI? Kendo UI is actually a HTML5 jQuery based framework developed by Telerik. I have to say that the team at Telerik really did an amazing job, because they made it so easy to use, so easy to learn. I'm going to tell you why later, alright, in my next slide. One of my favorite features of Kendo UI is that they've created over 70 amazing UI controls that you can choose from for your projects. There are so many options that you can configure with each of those controls, so there's really practically not much limitation to what can be achieved. So why Kendo UI? Firstly, Kendo UI is easy to use, as I mentioned earlier. It's lightweight and it's really fast when it comes to loading the screen, loading a page. It allows me to create amazing responsive web applications. It also allows me to create mobile applications using the tools, the controls that are already available in Kendo UI right now. And last but not least, it also allows me to integrate with other frameworks, like Twitter, Bootstrap, AngularJS. So 3 very simple steps to get started. You just have to download the files, and just to let you know, Kendo UI core is free, which you can download from GitHub, and I will have the URL for you at the end of this presentation. Next step would be to write just 6 simple lines of codes in a standard HTML file, and then you can run it in the browser. So right now, I'm going to exit this presentation and I will start sharing with you how simple it is to get started to create Kendo UI button sample. So as you can see here, I've already launched Visual Studio 2013 and I've already created a sample project file here called simple button example. I have also included the necessary JS folder and styles. How I usually like to do it is, for learning purposes, I would just copy the entire JS styles file to my project, so that whenever I need to access a certain file, I don't have to keep going to look for it. So it helps me to save time. Once you've created a simple HTML page in your project, open it, right? And here we just decide to call it a simple Kendo UI button example. I have this from the Kendo UI demo portal, which you can actually refer to, and it's really easy just to create the styles that are already available there. So these are the 6 files, but usually for learning you probably wouldn't need these 2 there. These are the most default basic files that you will need to create a Kendo UI web page or web application. And here we created input button. Alright, if you don't want to use that, you can still use the standard button which is available in HTML, and we are going to call this a click me button, and we decided to let's give a more unique ID. Let's call it click me. So the very next step, we're going to create the script. So if you have already done jQuery before, basically what this statement does is that it tells the page that when the document is ready, we're going to execute a certain set of functions. So within this function, now we are going to tell it that we want this button to be a Kendo UI button. And there you have it. Now we are going to build it. A really simple Kendo UI button. There are other things that you can do to say style your button and make sure that it's actually a primary button. This is usually useful when you have a secondary button you want your users to be able to differentiate between those buttons. So we're going to take a look at the demo again. There you see the difference. It looks different when you see it without the style. You know that you have not declared it as a Kendo UI button. So we're going to do it here. There you have it. Gonna reload this, and now you can see the difference between these 2 buttons. Alright, now I'm gonna go ahead and share a little bit more about a couple of the features that are available, which is really easy to use. Now if you need to disable the button, all you have to do is add in some curly braces, and I'm gonna go right ahead to copy. Okay, save. Now if we go back to the screen and we reload, There you see that this screen now is no longer active. Okay. And what if you want to add an icon to your button? To say, for example, you want this particular button for filtering a set of records. Let's call it TN filter me. Okay, filter. Now we're gonna do the same thing that we have done before. Now the easy way is to just copy and paste, and we would take the file name, and now we can add it in. Save. There you see we have the filter button now. So isn't that easy or what? Okay, last but not least, what if you want to capture an event? A simple way is to declare the click handler, and I'm going to just copy and paste, and we are going to declare a simple on-click method, and I'm going to just do a simple alert in here. And we'll save the file, and we are going to refresh the page. There, you see it. So that is really easy, and yep, that's all it takes to get started on Kendo UI. I have to say, there's so many things that we can actually do with all the controls that are available. Sadly, there isn't time for me to go through every single one of them in a single video. So you can be sure that there will be more videos coming up. Right now, I'm just going to return back to the slides. So, my final thoughts are, Kendo UI is really easy to learn. Anybody, even students, will be able to pick this up, because all you need to know is HTML, CSS styling, and JavaScript. On top of that, another very good reason for you to pick up Kendo UI is because Kendo UI core is free. So unless you are willing to make the investment, which I feel is worth it, you probably want to consider getting Kendo UI Professional, which has a lot more controls, the more complex controls that you can use to create stunning web applications. On top of that, I find that Kendo UI really gives top of the line user experience, for web users and web browsers. And personally, in my opinion, Kendo UI is really HTML5 at its best. Finally, I'd like to close off with some of my contact details. If you'd like to contact me and know more about me and find out more about the things that I've been up to, you can visit my website, which is crossplatformdev.technology, or you can email to me, sherman@crossplatformdev.technology, and you'll find my Twitter and my Skype handler on this slide, this video. So go ahead and hit me up. I thank you so much for taking this time to watch this video. I know that this video is my first time doing a recording, so there might be areas that I need to improve on. I seek your patience and your understanding. I thank you so much for your support, and I look forward to hearing from you soon. Thank you. Bye.